Hello everyone, and welcome to my Update US Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Over the many seasons of Sister Wives, the Brown family's personal and financial disputes have often spilled into the public arena. From contentious custody arrangements to heated battles over property and assets, the legal side of their lives has been as dramatic as their on-camera interactions. Recently, a controversy has arisen surrounding a particular legal matter in which Kody Brown appears to have made comments suggesting that he outsmarted the judge. Although details of the case remain somewhat opaque in public reports, this statement, interpreted by some fans as a boastful admission of tactical maneuvering in the courtroom, has ignited a firestorm of debate among viewers and critics alike. For many, the notion that Kody may have tried to use cunning or strategic legal tactics to gain an advantage speaks to a recurring narrative on the show, one where personal ambition and the desire to control the family's public narrative often override genuine accountability. In the context of the legal dispute at hand, it appears that Kody's approach has not only frustrated his co-wives and family members but has also drawn criticism from fans who feel that such a mindset undermines the integrity of the judicial process. Allegations and legal strategy. Reports circulating on social media and in various entertainment news outlets indicate that during a recent court proceeding, Kody Brown made statements, either directly or implied through subsequent interviews, that have been interpreted by some as evidence that he believed he had outsmarted the judge. While the specifics of the legal case are not fully disclosed, insiders suggest it involved complex issues related to family assets and the division of property or custody rights. In such disputes, every legal maneuver is scrutinized, and any hint that one party may have manipulated the system for personal gain can be highly polarizing. Critics argue that Kody's alleged remark is emblematic of his broader approach to conflict resolution within the family. Rather than accepting responsibility for contentious decisions or acknowledging that legal processes often require compromise and transparency, he appears to have embraced a more defiant posture. By framing his actions as a victory over the judicial system, Kody not only deflects criticism from his own decisions but also reinforces the image of a man who prioritizes personal advantage over collective fairness. For supporters of Kody, on the other hand, such a statement might be interpreted as the natural outcome of operating within a high-stakes environment. Reality television, with its constant scrutiny and pressure to maintain an impeccable public image, can push individuals to adopt defensive strategies that emphasize triumph in the face of adversity. In this view, if Kody did manage to secure a favorable ruling, however controversial the methods might have been, his remarks could be seen as a justified celebration of a hard-fought legal victory. Nonetheless, the broader public reaction suggests that many viewers see this as further evidence of a problematic pattern of behavior. Media framing and public perception. In today's digital age, every comment made by a public figure is magnified by social media, and reality TV personalities are particularly vulnerable to such scrutiny. The narrative that Kody outsmarted the judge has been widely circulated on platforms like Twitter and Reddit, where fans dissect every snippet of his interviews and confessional moments. The framing of the situation in many online discussions often paints Kody as a savvy, if ethically questionable, operator, someone who uses his influence and resources to bend legal outcomes in his favor. However, this portrayal is contentious. Many viewers feel that such a narrative not only trivializes the complexity of legal processes but also underscores a deeper issue within the Brown family's public persona, a reliance on deflection and boastful self-promotion. For these critics, Kody's alleged claim is symptomatic of a larger failure to acknowledge collective responsibility. Instead of engaging in the hard work of reconciling differences and working collaboratively with his co-wives, he appears to relish any opportunity to assert his superiority, even in the courtroom. The media's role in shaping this narrative cannot be overlooked. Reality TV shows like Sister Wives are edited to emphasize conflict, and production teams are adept at selecting moments that reinforce dramatic storylines. Whether or not Kody's remark was taken out of context or amplified by editing, the resulting public perception is one of a man who is more interested in self-aggrandizement than in fostering genuine resolution. This, in turn, feeds into broader cultural criticisms of reality TV, where the lines between performance and reality are often blurred, and where every legal or personal misstep becomes a spectacle for public consumption. Implications for family dynamics. The alleged comment that Kody outsmarted the judge has significant repercussions for the internal dynamics of the Brown family. Over the years, disputes over finances, property, and personal relationships have strained the bonds between Kody and his wives. When Kody publicly celebrates a legal victory in such a manner, it reinforces a narrative that he is willing to use every tool at his disposal, be it legal, financial, or psychological, to maintain control. For many of his co-wives, this is not merely a matter of personal pride but a reminder of a recurring pattern in which their voices are marginalized in favor of Kody's narrative of triumph. For the family as a whole, this dynamic can lead to long-term emotional fallout. When one member consistently positions themselves as the winner, at the expense of collective decision-making and mutual respect, it creates an environment of mistrust and resentment. Fans who have followed the Brown family over the years are deeply concerned that if Kody continues to rely on such tactics, the possibility for meaningful reconciliation and growth will be further diminished. The legal battles that play out on sister wives are not just isolated incidents, they are symptomatic of a broader struggle for power and recognition within the household. Broader cultural and societal reflections. Beyond the confines of the Brown family, Kody's alleged statement reflects larger societal issues regarding accountability, leadership, and the nature of public persona in modern media. In an era where there is an increasing call for transparency and ethical behavior from public figures, any hint that a celebrity is manipulating legal systems for personal gain is likely to provoke significant backlash. For many viewers, Kody's alleged claim that he outsmarted the judge is not just a boast. It is a challenge to the values of fairness and shared responsibility that many believe should underpin both the legal system and interpersonal relationships. This controversy also invites reflection on the pressures faced by those living under constant public scrutiny. The Brown family's saga is a reminder that the pursuit of a perfect public image often comes at a personal cost. The pressures to perform, to maintain an aura of infallibility, and to outmaneuver competitors, whether in the courtroom or at home, can lead to behavior that is ultimately self-destructive. For fans, this debate is a call for a more nuanced understanding of the human cost of fame, and a reminder that real leadership requires humility and a willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. Potential paths forward. The question now facing the Brown family is whether this moment of public controversy can serve as a catalyst for change. If Kody's comment was indeed intended to assert his superiority, it may further polarize the already strained relationships within the family. However, there is also an opportunity for introspection. For many fans and observers, true leadership involves not only winning battles but also recognizing when victory has come at too high a cost. If Kody can acknowledge the underlying issues that drive his need to outsmart legal challenges and use that moment as a stepping stone toward more collaborative problem solving, there may be hope for reconciliation and healing. Some insiders speculate that the upcoming season of Sister Wives might address these issues more directly. There is hope among dedicated viewers that if Kody and his co-wives are willing to engage in honest dialogue about their long-standing conflicts, it could pave the way for a more balanced and respectful family dynamic. Such a shift would not only enhance the personal well-being of each family member but could also lead to a richer, more authentic narrative that resonates with modern audiences who value accountability and personal growth. Sister Wives has long been a platform where the personal lives of the Brown family are broadcast to millions. Over nearly 2 decades, the show has documented everything from moments of genuine tenderness to bitter conflicts and public disputes. As with many reality TV families, the Browns' interactions have been subject to intense scrutiny and editorial manipulation. This environment has given rise to a plethora of narratives, some of which cast individual members in a highly negative light. One such narrative that has gained traction among certain segments of the fanbase is the claim that all of the Browns are a bunch of liars. For many viewers, this assertion stems from repeated instances where statements made on camera appear to conflict with off-camera behavior or subsequent interviews. Critics argue that key figures, most notably Kody Brown, have been seen shifting blame, downplaying their own missteps, or offering contradictory explanations for decisions that have had significant repercussions for the family. In parallel, some fans contend that the wives have also contributed to this narrative through selective editing or by presenting information that later appears to be at odds with the full truth of their experiences. Over time, these discrepancies have coalesced into a pervasive skepticism among certain viewers, who now express the sentiment that the public faces of the Browns are constructed and that honesty is sacrificed in favor of maintaining a particular image. The roots of the accusations. Understanding why some fans have reached the point of labeling the entire family as liars requires an examination of several interwoven factors. Conflicting narratives. Reality TV is inherently fragmented. The producer's role in editing and framing events can lead to multiple versions of the same story. In Sister Wives, various incidents, ranging from financial disputes to interpersonal conflicts, have been portrayed differently over time. Fans point to moments when statements from one episode seem to contradict later revelations. For example, if Kody asserts one thing about a family decision on camera and then offers a differing account in a subsequent interview, viewers may interpret this as deliberate deception. The same goes for some statements made by the wives, where their public narratives appear inconsistent. Such perceived discrepancies have built a case, in the eyes of many fans, that the family's accounts are not entirely trustworthy. Internal family dynamics. The Brown family is marked by complex power struggles and shifting alliances. Over the years, viewers have seen how disputes over money, property, and personal loyalty have led to public spats and divided loyalties among the wives. In this environment, it is not uncommon for individual members to present information that supports their personal grievances. When these pieces of information later come into conflict, some fans feel that the truth has been compromised by self-interest. This environment of internal competition has contributed to the narrative that honesty is in short supply, and that every member of the family is, to some extent, more interested in self-preservation than in transparent communication. Media amplification and fan expectations. Social media has played an enormous role in shaping the public's perception of the Brown family. Fans dissect every episode, clip, and interview, often piecing together seemingly contradictory moments to form a broader narrative. Online communities, whether on Twitter, Reddit, or dedicated fan forums, have become echo chambers where the belief that the Browns are liars is reinforced through repeated discussion and shared commentary. In these spaces, sensational headlines and provocative posts gain traction, sometimes overshadowing more nuanced interpretations of the family's behavior. This amplification can transform isolated incidents into a generalized judgment of dishonesty. Dissecting the accusations, who's at fault? While the claim that all of the Browns are a bunch of liars is broad and sweeping, it is important to break down the specific behaviors and incidents that have contributed to this sentiment. Kody Brown's public persona. As the patriarch and most prominent figure on Sister Wives, Kody's words carry enormous weight. Fans have long criticized him for shifting blame and for appearing to minimize his own role in the family's conflicts. Whether it's regarding financial decisions or interpersonal disputes, his narrative often deflects attention away from his actions. This pattern of behavior has led many viewers to view his public statements as calculated attempts to preserve a desired image rather than as honest reflections of his experiences. The wives' contradictory accounts. While the original wives, such as Mary, Christine, and Janelle, have each shared their own perspectives on family issues, there are moments when their accounts seem to conflict with one another or with earlier statements made by the family. Some fans interpret these inconsistencies as evidence of selective truth-telling. In a highly scrutinized environment, even minor discrepancies can be magnified, leading to the perception that the wives are not fully transparent about their experiences. Editing and production influence. It is no secret that reality TV is as much about storytelling as it is about actual events. The choices made in editing can dramatically influence the narrative. Fans argue that the Brown statements have been manipulated to create certain story arcs that sometimes cast the family members in a contradictory light. When later interviews reveal nuances that challenge the edited narrative, it can lead to accusations that the family's public accounts are not only incomplete but intentionally deceptive. Emotional and cultural impact. The belief that the Browns are liars is not just a superficial critique, it resonates on a deeper emotional level with many fans who have followed their saga for years. For some viewers, the sense of betrayal they feel is tied to their own expectations of authenticity and honesty in relationships. Reality TV, despite its curated nature, promises a glimpse into real human emotions and interactions. When those depictions are repeatedly found wanting, it can lead to a broader disillusionment not just with the individuals involved but with the genre as a whole. This sentiment is reflective of broader cultural conversations about truth in the age of social media. In today's world, where misinformation and curated narratives are prevalent, viewers have become increasingly skeptical of what they see on screen. The perception that the Browns are not being honest, whether in their personal interactions or in their public statements, feeds into a larger distrust of reality TV narratives. For many fans, the repeated inconsistencies and perceived deceptions are a microcosm of a broader societal issue, the difficulty of discerning truth in a landscape dominated by image, branding, and the relentless pursuit of ratings. The path toward accountability. Amid these sweeping accusations, a central question remains: is there a path toward greater transparency and accountability for the Brown family? For some fans, the answer lies in a fundamental shift in how conflicts are addressed on the show. Instead of resorting to blame and deflection, there is a growing call for a more honest dialogue, a process in which every member of the family is encouraged to take responsibility for their part in the ongoing conflicts. Advocates for change argue that if the Browns are to regain the trust of their audience, they must be willing to engage in open, unfiltered discussions about their personal and financial struggles. This might involve revisiting past events with a critical eye, acknowledging where narratives have been manipulated or oversimplified, and committing to a more collaborative approach in the future. For instance, if Kody were to acknowledge his own mistakes instead of shifting blame, or if the wives could present a united front in addressing internal conflicts, it might pave the way for a more nuanced and trustworthy portrayal of family dynamics. Such a transformation, though challenging, would not only enhance the family's credibility but also set a new standard for accountability in reality TV. Moving forward in a high-stakes environment. The challenge for the Browns, and for reality TV as a whole, is to navigate the delicate balance between public performance and genuine authenticity. Every action, every word, is amplified by the constant gaze of cameras and the judgment of a global audience. In such an environment, even well-intentioned efforts at reconciliation can be undermined by selective editing and sensational headlines. For the Brown family, the way forward may involve a careful re-examination of how they communicate, both among themselves and with their viewers. Transparency, though risky in a media-driven world, could be the key to breaking the cycle of blame. By allowing more unfiltered, behind-the-scenes moments to surface, the family might demonstrate that their struggles are real, and that they, too, are committed to personal growth and accountability. However, this shift requires courage from all members of the household, as well as a willingness to face criticism head-on rather than retreating into defensive narratives.